I'm Dr. Christy, and this is Climbing Fish Parenting, practical parenting strategies in 20 minutes or less. I'm a psychologist and behavior analyst, and I work with exhausted, overwhelmed parents who feel like they've tried everything and nothing works. If you're listening to this while folding the laundry, hiding in your car, or wishing bedtime would just end already, you're in the right place. Today's topic is what's really happening when your tween or teen pushes you away. The eye rolls, the slam of the door, the stop talking, but still, somehow, they fall apart when you step back. By the end of this episode, you'll understand why this stage feels so confusing, what your tween or teen actually needs from you, even when they act like they don't, and how to stay steady without taking it personally. Ready to transform your parenting journey? Let's dive in. Your 12-year-old walks in from school and you're genuinely happy to see them. You've been thinking about them all day. You say, "Hey, how was your day?" And they don't even look up. Fine. You try again. "Anything interesting happen?" And you get a heavy sigh, an eye roll, and "Can you not?" Then they walk past you, go to their room and shut the door. Not slam it, just close it with you on the other side. Your stomach drops a little. Your chest tightens. You feel that weird mix of hurt and confusion. You think, I just asked how their day was. What did I do wrong? But here's where it gets even more confusing. 3 hours later, they melt down over homework, or they're crying about a friend situation, or they come out of their room and need you to sit near them while they don't want to talk. And you're standing there thinking, you just pushed me away. You told me to stop talking. Why do you need me now? Welcome to the tween years, where your child is simultaneously trying to separate from you and desperately needs you to stay. And if you have a tween or teen who's wired differently, with ADHD, anxiety, autism, or any combination, this push-pull is even more intense because their brain is developmentally pushing for independence while simultaneously struggling with the executive function and emotion regulation skills that independence requires. Let me show you what's actually happening. Here's what's going on in your tween's brain and body right now. Developmentally, their job is to separate, to differentiate, to figure out who they are outside of being your kid. This is normal. This is healthy. This is what's supposed to happen. They're supposed to start caring more about what their friends think than what you think. They're supposed to test boundaries. They're supposed to push against you. But here's the piece that makes it so hard. Emotionally, they're not ready to let go of you. Not even close. So what you're seeing is distance on the outside, the eye rolls, the door shutting, the leave me alone, and dependence underneath. They need you just as much as they ever did. They just need you differently. And they don't have the language or the emotional awareness to say, I need to feel like my own person, but I also need to know you're not going anywhere. So it comes out as, stop talking to me, followed 3 hours later by, can you come sit with me? It's confusing because it feels contradictory, but it's actually completely normal. When your tween withdraws from you, it hits something deep. It can feel like rejection, like disrespect, like ingratitude, like loss. You miss the version of them who used to tell you everything, who wanted to be near you, who thought you were the coolest person in the world. And there's a grief there, a real legitimate grief for the relationship you used to have. But here's what's important to understand. Distance is not the same as disconnection. Eye rolls are not abandonment. Withdrawal often means you're safe enough that I can push against you. That doesn't make it easier to experience, but it changes what it means. Think about it this way. Your tween doesn't push against people they don't trust. They don't test boundaries with people who feel unsafe. They're pushing against you because you're their secure base. And they need to know that when they push, you don't fall apart. You don't retaliate. You don't withdraw. You stay. That's what they're actually testing for. Not, will you let me do whatever I want? But will you still be here when I'm prickly and difficult and not very likable? Here's what your tween needs from you. Even when they're acting like they want nothing to do with you, they need predictable presence, not hovering, not interrogating, just there, available, steady. They need calm reactions when they're prickly, when they're rude, when they're pushing every button you have. They need you to not match their intensity. They need non intrusive availability. And this is a key phrase here: non intrusive availability. That looks like, I'll be in the kitchen if you need me. It looks like sitting nearby without forcing conversation. It looks like not escalating when they're snippy. It looks like not taking the bait when they're trying to pick a fight. They don't want interrogation. They want accessibility. And here's what makes this even harder for kids who are wired differently. They're dealing with all the normal tween developmental stuff: identity formation, peer pressure, body changes, emotional intensity. Plus, they're managing ADHD that makes emotional regulation harder, or anxiety that makes social situations terrifying, or autism that makes reading social cues exhausting. So when they come home from school, they've been holding it all together, using every ounce of executive function they have just to get through. And when they walk in the door and you ask, "How was your day?" Even though you're being kind, even though you care, it feels like one more demand, one more thing they have to manage. So they shut it down, not because they don't love you, but because they're completely tapped out. When our tween pushes us away, we tend to do one of two things. We either clamp down harder: "You will talk to me respectfully. You will answer my questions. You will not shut that door." Or we withdraw completely. "Fine, figure it out yourself. Let me know when you're ready to be civil." Neither of these builds security. The first one escalates the power struggle. The second one confirms their fear that when they're difficult, you leave. The middle path is steadiness. You don't chase, you don't retreat, you stay. And that steadiness, that calm, consistent presence, even when they're pushing you away, becomes the anchor they swing back toward. Let me give you a specific example. Your tween comes home from school. You ask how their day was. They snap at you. "Why do you always ask me that?" Here's what not to do. "Excuse me? I'm your mother. You do not talk to me that way. Go to your room until you can be respectful." Why doesn't this work? Because now you've turned a moment of dysregulation into a battle about respect. And they're going to their room feeling misunderstood and alone. Here's what to do. Take a deep breath. Notice your own reaction, the heat in your chest, the urge to snap back. Then respond calmly. "Okay, I'm here if you need me." And then you let it go. You don't lecture. You don't punish. You don't make it into a thing. Later, maybe an hour, maybe that evening, they come find you. They sit near you. Maybe they start talking. Maybe they don't. And you're just there. That's the steadiness they need. Not control, not force, not punishment. Just, "I'm here." Even when you're prickly, even when you push me away, I'm still here. Now, let's be real. You're not going to respond perfectly every time. Sometimes you're going to snap back. Sometimes you're going to take it personally. Sometimes you're going to shut down or withdraw or say something you regret. You're human, and that's okay. What matters is the repair. Later, when everyone is calm, you can say, "Hey, earlier when you snapped at me, I snapped back. I shouldn't have done that. You were having a hard moment, and I made it harder. I'm sorry." This does two things. First, it models accountability. You're showing them that adults make mistakes and take responsibility for them. Second, it reinforces safety. You're saying, even when we both mess up, we can come back together. The repair is where the relationship actually strengthens, not in the perfect moments, but in the messy ones where you both screw up and then find your way back. I worked with a mom whose 13-year-old daughter with ADHD and anxiety would come home from school every day and immediately go to her room. No greeting, no conversation, just straight to her room and shut the door. The mom felt completely shut out. She said, "I don't even know her anymore. She doesn't want anything to do with me." We talked about what was actually happening. School was overwhelming. Social navigation was exhausting. Sensory input all day was draining. By the time she got home, this kid had nothing left. The door closing wasn't rejection, it was survival. We shifted the mom's approach. Instead of trying to connect right when her daughter got home, she gave her space. She'd say, "I'm glad you're home. I'll be in the kitchen when you're ready." Then she'd wait. An hour later, the daughter would come out, sit at the kitchen table while mom made dinner. Sometimes she'd talk, sometimes she wouldn't, but she was there. And slowly, over weeks, the daughter started opening up. Not right away, not on her mom's timeline, but on hers. Because her mom stopped chasing, stopped demanding, just stayed. And that steadiness was what she needed. Your tween pushing you away doesn't mean you're losing them. It means they're practicing becoming themselves. And your job isn't to control the distance. It's to remain the safe place they can return to. They will return, more than you think. But they need to know you're not going anywhere, even when they're difficult, even when they're distant, even when they're testing every boundary you have. You stay. That's the gift. This week, I want you to practice one thing: non-intrusive availability. When your tween pushes you away, instead of chasing or withdrawing, try this. Okay, I'm here if you need me. Then let them come to you on their timeline. Don't interrogate, don't demand, don't make it personal. Just be available and notice what happens. You might be surprised. All right, that's it for today. Remember, tween pushback is developmental, not personal. They're separating and attaching at the same time, and they need you to be steady, not controlling, not withdrawn, just steady. Your calm presence is what keeps the connection strong, even when they're testing it. If this episode resonated, hit subscribe so next week's episode shows up automatically. And if you want more support navigating the tween and teen years without second-guessing yourself every step of the way, head to climbingfishparenting.com and join my newsletter. You'll get strategies that actually help, not generic advice that makes you feel worse. That strategy I just gave you, it's the whole climbing fish philosophy in action. There's a quote: "Everybody's a genius. But if you judge a fish by its ability to climb a tree, it will live its whole life believing it's stupid." Your kid isn't broken. Your parenting isn't broken. Sometimes we're just asking our fish to climb trees. That's what we fix here. I'm Dr. Christy, and I'll see you next week.